Welcome to the Bayou Country Music Association show, brought to you by Southern Sound Outfitters. I'm your host, Jacob, and today I'm joined by a special guest that's been on our top 25 playlist for a while with his single cover song. And this guy is from a town in Florida that is named after a weird country, but we're going to get into that with the interview. I'm joined by Jordan Fletcher. How's it going, Jordan?
Hey, Jacob. I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing fine, man. So we'll jump into it. I mentioned the town in Florida. For the folks, tell them the name of the town that you're from.
Well, I'm from Switzerland, Florida.
Switzerland, Florida.
Yeah. It's south of Jacksonville. That's probably a little better for context. People usually know where that is.
Yeah, that's definitely a name that you don't forget. Switzerland, Florida. I'll have to remember that. So, Jordan, you have a pretty interesting story musically. Your journey to where you are now. You actually didn't start off singing, correct?
Yeah. No, I started as a drummer. I got my first drum set when I was 6 years old for Christmas.
Wow.
And just throughout my life, I just stuck with it, and that was really my introduction into everything that I do musically. So I mean, I played for churches growing up, and I played in bands throughout high school and stuff like that. I didn't really start writing until I was about 19. My buddy Ryan Nelson got me into it, and actually he was the one who kind of talked me into moving up here. But it was drumming at first, and then the songwriting and singing was a lot later. And
you were drumming to get your journey to Nashville and to music. You were actually drumming for Job Fortner, correct?
Yeah, man. I was drumming with Job. I first got plugged in and met him actually down at the Revival. It's a writers' round that they host down at the Tin Roof.
Uh-huh.
And so I met Job there a few months into being here in Nashville, and he said that he was starting to go on the road, do full band stuff. He just got off the road with Luke Combs opening for him, and so I just jumped on that, and off we went. I've been on the road since, just in different facets.
And for those listeners, Job, his song Stereotype has been on our playlist and our website feature. Great song, co-wrote by two buddies of mine, Dawson Edwards and Brian Frazier. And Job's a great artist. He got a great EP out that you guys need to go check out. So you went from drumming with Job to what transitions you into, okay, now I want to sing?
Well, like I said, my buddy Ryan kind of got me into writing when I was about 19. I didn't move up to Nashville until I was about 22. And, I guess it was just kind of opportunities. I felt like God was leading me in a certain direction, and I always loved drumming and doing all that stuff, but I just kind of got these opportunities. I met with these folks, Gary and Charlie from Muscadine Bloodline, through some connections with my buddy Sam and their manager Matt, who now manages me as well. But I met them, and I was trying to get, move in that direction. And I was like, man, if y'all need anything, if you need somebody to drive or need somebody to sell merch or do whatever, I'd love to get involved just on that side of the touring, And so they, let me in in their group, and I was just kind of doing whatever they needed me to do. And we were driving all over the southeast and the northeast and all that. And they were starting to let me actually open up for them as an artist, and I'd actually never done that officially until that point. And so it was a blessing. Just kind of I fell into it through open doors that I just kind of walked through.
That's awesome, man. You got a lot of connections here with Job and you, and then Gary, and Muscadine Bloodline. They're now breaking out. Their new music, new EP they got out. They're touring all over. So you was actually with them before all this, when they were still had great songs and a fan base, but they wasn't on the next level like they are now, right?
Well, they were always bringing in good.
Yeah. They just didn't have the I guess I could say the recognition by the big stage of they had their fans, and they've always been good. I've been following them since day one, man, and. But when you were touring with them, what year was that? Was that like 2016 or before that?
Man, that's a good question. It would have been was March of 17.
Okay, yeah. And I mean, y'all all, as a collective group, have come a long way successfully, man. I mean, now you got 3 singles under your belt. You know, let's talk about the current single that's obviously on our charts, cover song. What's the story behind the writing of that song?
Well, it was Thanksgiving, right around, actually, the weekend of the Iron Bowl. We were going to Auburn playing it. I was opening for Muscadine, and I was on my way over there. I was driving separate because after that I was going to head on over to Jacksonville or Switzerland for Thanksgiving with the family, and so I was making my way over there to Auburn, and I was listening to music on YouTube. It was before I got Spotify, you know.
Yeah.
And I actually saw some commercial that was just something that was like, whatever, turn in your best cover video to, you know, whatever, and for a chance to win whatever. And it was just something I saw, and it got me thinking, because so much of us, the artists that kind of do the route that we do, the grassroots thing, we make our living off of playing a lot of other people's music.
Yeah.
And it was something that you do often, but you don't ever think twice about. And it was just kind of it kind of hit me in a different way when I just kind of read that, and so I just jotted it down, and I got to Auburn, and I saw Gary, and we had to write that next Monday, and I was like, hey man, I got this idea, and he was like, man, that sounds like a good idea. We didn't know how we were going to twist it or what we were going to do with it, but he was down for it, and so I met with him on Monday, and we put it together in a few hours.
That's awesome, man. I love hearing the stories behind songs and how, you know, the writing behind it. And those guys, you know, Gary and Charlie have both, I mean, they're great songwriters. Do you still write with them? And who are some of the ones that you write with still?
Oh, I write with both of them, yeah.
And
a good bit. I mean, it's just been more and more. I just recently stopped selling merch for them, but I still have dates coming up opening for them.
Awesome.
But yeah, man, two really good friends of mine. I learned a lot from them. They give me a lot of opportunities. So, yeah, we definitely write, man.
Back to you now. Cover song. I mean, the success of it on our end has been great. I stumbled across it, man, on Spotify, and it was months back, and you know, I seen the album artwork, and I was like, man, this has to be, you know, the cover song, it just hit me, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna listen to it. And I always listen to the words of a song. I'm a lyric nerd, I guess, and
sure.
I was listening to it, and I mean, the melody just had me in immediately, and I was listening to the words, and I was like, wow, that's such a clever lyric, you know. She played me like a cover song, like you said earlier. Artists always perform cover songs, you know, in the beginning, and you know, to get that fan base growing, and but yet nobody ever sings about them. But that's awesome, man.
Well, yeah, man, it was one. I am still pretty new into this whole thing, so it's cool to get into the room with people that have been doing it longer than you, and so when I kind of went in with Gary, I mean, we had these ideas, and it fell into place. And I was a little nervous initially that, you know, it would kind of be almost like an inside joke for people that were, you know, in the industry. But, I mean, it seems like people get it, and it makes sense. And I've gotten a pretty good response organically. We haven't really promoted it much yet. We still got to kind of plan how we're going to do that. But, yeah, I mean, it's been a blessing to get to see that and see just people that even aren't, you know, artists that know what all that is. And they're like, yeah, dude, it makes sense. And it feels good or whatever, and so, man, it's definitely moving on its own, better than any song I've had out prior, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I like what you mentioned, man, about how it's picking up, you know, with non-artists, and it kind of started off, and I think I would have to say from, you know, the background of people, like you said, when people such as yourself start off, you know, playing little dive bars or little shows, they play a lot of cover songs, and the fans actually hear them. And I guess it's more. I guess what I'm trying to say is it relates more to the fans of the everyday guy, you know, because they watch cover videos all the time, and I guess they get that, but the song itself, man, it's cleverly written, and the melody, it kind of takes a heartbreak song and turns it into something that you could sing along to while you driving down the road in the summertime. So that's awesome, man.
Yeah, thanks, man. I hope people enjoy it, man.
And you mentioned about the promotion, how you haven't really promoted it much yet, but I want to get into the video, man, because I watched the video for it on YouTube, and I have to ask. I mean, I watched it, and I'm gonna ask for everyone: is that real or is that staged? You going into these, different places and just playing your song?
Yeah, that was real, man. It was that
wow.
was Matt, my manager's idea. I went over to his house. It was me, him, and Sam Crabtree. We were sitting there figuring out what we were going to do as far as like a treatment for this song. And we sat there probably 2 or 3 hours, and we couldn't come up with anything. And I was like, well, I got to get back home and take care of the dog or whatever. And I'm about 10 minutes down the road, and I get a call from Matt, and he just shoots it out. And he's like, man, that's what we're going to do. He's like, I'm going to take a camera. Sam and I are going to roll with you. You're going to walk into these places, and you're going to ask if I can sing a song and then record it. If they say yes, then, they come in, and we just went full speed for it. So, I mean, it didn't take too long each time we did it, but, I mean, it took a while, a good 3 days to shoot it fully because, I mean, the first day, it was a blessing, man. We got probably 70% of the shots done. But the second day, I don't know what it was, or the second time we went out, because it wasn't the next day. The second time we went out, it was a Friday. And I guess people just, want to get home. And so I can't tell you, I probably got 12 or 13 no's.
Wow.
Just people like, no, dude, I don't want that. Or
it's Friday, I don't want to do that.
Or maybe they just didn't, like the way I looked, or what. I don't know. But it was, that was probably the weirdest part. I mean, once you get over the first time where you're just standing in front of some people singing some song awkwardly, it's kind of easy. But the toughest part was going in and being like, hey, can we do this? And then being like, no.
Did you have anybody recognize you, man? I mean, did anyone recognize who you were?
No.
So where was that? Where was it filmed at?
So just surrounding areas of Nashville, like up in Madison, Old Hickory. There was a few spots that were downtown, kind of East Nashville. A lot of the kind of shots with the murals and everything. We went around and found those as far as B-roll is concerned. But yeah, I mean, it was mainly just private businesses, like small business owners, and that was kind of the thing because you just kind of they can make that call if you go into like some big place.
The franchise.
Like, hey, we got to talk to our regional manager. It's like, well, I don't have time for that.
I really like it, man. I like the way that it's almost ties in with the song on a clever level of you could have took that song and made a video, a million different ways, but it actually has nothing to do with the song, but yet it's just like perfectly put together. And I think that actually has something to do with the song because the song itself is turned in a clever twist. So I'm definitely going to tag the link to it on this when we publish this interview, man, because I love it, and I hope it should win some kind of CMA Video of the Year Budget Award or something because it's a good story.
Hey, bro, you keep saying that. I'd love if it did.
Yeah, I mean that's something there, man. But yeah, it's not only the video, but like I said, the song itself is tied in together, and I definitely would say I'm gonna submit it right now to the folks of whoever runs videos and awards. But so you wrote this one with Gary of Muscadine Bloodline. Do you have some new music in the works?
I sure do. Actually, my next single's a song I wrote with Charlie from Muscadine Bloodline.
Imagine that.
And Jordan Rager. It's called Miles to the Moon. And I've played it out, live. I just hadn't recorded it yet. So we've got plans for it to be coming out pretty soon in the next couple months. But yeah, I mean, I'm really looking forward to that one. It's a simple love song. And it's coming out. I think that's a good time to release it during the summer. I think it'll feel good for people. Definitely,
man. I mean, cover songs got that great. It's a heartbreak song, but it's got the melody of almost a summer song. So you come out with another one, man. You're gonna have some steam rolling.
Well, that's the hope, man. It's the time, and you got to keep putting songs out there so that you just keep in people's mind. It's like if people are willing to pay for your stuff or stream your stuff or whatever, just give you their attention. I mean, and the least you could do is continue giving them some new stuff, to spend their time on.
Absolutely, man. Well, you have a single that you have worked on. Do you have some shows and some tours maybe going on?
Say again. I'm sorry, you broke up.
I'm sorry, man. I said, do you have any shows booked or tours that you're going on to kind of, get out on the road and sing?
Yeah, I do. I got some. The fall, I'm going to be. I got a bunch of dates with Muscadine in the fall. But beyond that, I just got some stuff around town, some writers around. I play in the Bluebird Wednesday, this coming Wednesday during CMA Fest.
Awesome.
So just stuff like that. But during the fall, I got it pretty well booked up with Muscadine stuff.
And
if you follow where they're going, you'll find me,
Yeah, and I mean, it's safe to say in this day and age, I mean, a big thing that helps artists and stuff is social media. I mean, the growth that you can have of fans and everything is almost, you don't even need labels anymore to promote you with the social media. And Muscadine, Bloodline, both them guys are, they are some Twitter and Instagram crazed guys, and they definitely know what's up with that. So would you say that you agree and you do a lot of your social media and put out there?
Oh, absolutely, man. That's one of the biggest parts of this whole thing. I mean, I learned from those guys. I mean, if you're going to do this independent grassroots thing, you got to be able to be good to your fans, and that's the easiest way for you to be able to engage with them. I mean, because these are the people that literally give you a job. So it's like, it's not 20 years ago when the only time you saw those people, like your favorite musicians, was when they were playing a show. It's like now we have the ease of being able to just. I mean, we can take videos of our faces talking to these people. So, I mean, that's kind of the coolest thing right now is that you can engage people constantly, and it just is not, it's not that hard. It's not even a thing. It allows that relationship to be more real and more constant. Yeah.
A crazy thought is children being born nowadays will probably never have to know what it's like to, go to a concert to see somebody. They can be, the technology is going to be so crazy that, but yeah, we're gonna post all of your social media accounts and all that. So you have a Twitter, a Facebook, Instagram, the whole setup?
Yeah, I do. I got all of them. I'm most active on Facebook and Instagram, mainly Instagram, and that's Jordan Fletcher Music. And Facebook is just Jordan Fletcher, and Twitter is Jordan Fletcher TV. So yeah, dude, all those things. I mean, you'll be able to get in touch with me. I mean, they got plenty of them.
Yeah, we'll definitely put the links to all those on there, man, so you guys can go and follow Jordan and check out his day-to-day activities and his news on updates of shows and music and merch or whatever he's got going, man. You got some merchandise? I know you said you were running merch for Muscadine, man.
Yeah, I do. I got one shirt design right now, and it's doing actually really well. That was actually what it is the sunset with a silhouette of a water tower in front of it with my name underneath it. And that actually, the story behind that is that silhouette is actually a water tower that's at my grandma's house down in Florida. And one of my cousins took the picture and made the whatever stencil for it or whatever you want to call it. And so it was kind of a family affair making this one, putting that one together. So
that's awesome.
It means a lot, and we got koozies, and that's the one design we have. But we got other designs in the works. It's just a matter of actually pulling the trigger on that once we start promoting this cover song, really pushing it, and then getting ready to put out Miles to the Men. We'll have new merchandise for all that.
That's awesome, man. Well, we're gonna take a break from all the officialness, and I get into the personal side of what do you have hobbies as outside of music? What do you like? What does Jordan like to do? On days off. I know there's not many of them, but
well, I tell you what, we got a dog now. My wife and I have a dog, and my wife and I have been married for about 6 months now. So anytime I have off, I just spend with them. I mean, to be completely honest with you. Back in Florida, I used to do a lot of recreational water stuff. I surfed a lot, fished a lot. And it's just getting warm enough to go back out to Percy Paris and all that stuff. So we'll probably be taking the dog out there. He likes to swim, so that's kind of it. Just spending time with them. I like to cook. I got a smoker.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that, man.
So I've been learning how to do that. It's been trial and error, but we're getting there.
Now, as far as music, not your music, but, well, I'll say that, you might have yours. I always ask people, as of right now, what are the last 3 songs you listen to on whatever device, it's your phone or, radio, whatever it is, what's the last 3, no matter what genre, no matter what it is?
Oh, okay. Let me think about this. I listened to. You ever heard of Audio Adrenaline? They're a old worship band from the '90s and early 2000s. I stumbled across them. So I was listening to them. I listened to a Josh Thompson song, and that was "Cold Beer with Your Name on It." And then I listened to I listened to "She Ain't In It" by John Party.
Dude, that's another great song, man. And I actually got to meet the guy that wrote that, Clint Daniels.
Clint?
Yep, Clint's a great guy. He's wrote so many songs. But yeah, I went to a writers round in Baton Rouge. They had a little songwriter festival, and he come down and him and Brent Anderson and CJ Solar, and like we went to this thing, and I met him, talked with him, and didn't even know who he was at first. And then when he got up there and started singing, and I was like, well, he's like, yeah, this was my, he wrote this song, and he started saying it, and I was like, man, that's awesome.
Yeah, he's got quite the catalog.
Oh, definitely.
That's a cool guy, man. Definitely,
man. And I like the story behind it. He said that he just kind of walked out the bar and he looked at winners and losers in Nashville. And his buddy said, "Which one you want to go in?" And he goes, "I don't care, as long as she ain't in it." And then they wrote a song off of it, and bam. And that was awesome. I love hearing stories behind the songs.
Right.
I'm a lyric nerd, but that's me, man. I love the lyrics, love the music. I think that's what makes music, man.
Yeah, man, it really does. Yeah, that's the message of it.
Exactly. So, I mean, we touched on cover song, we touched on your upcoming stuff, the video, we touched on, you got some shows booked up in the fall with Muscadine and how people can keep up with you on your website. And so what's the next year of 2019, what's the goal for Jordan Fletcher?
Well, I'm going to be playing a lot more. Like I said, during this fall, I'm going to be doing a lot of opening slots, but I think 2019 for me is going to be a lot of transition into the full band and making that awkward jump. So that's kind of the next step for me. Got a lot of music and just really putting a lot as far as content's concerned out there. So I mean, 2019 is going to be a busy year. So I mean, any help, any sharing of the stuff, it means the world. Every person that does that, makes somebody's career. We can't do without them. So that's about it.
Definitely.
Just grinding as hard as we can on this thing, man.
Definitely, man. And we support all great music that we listen to that comes in, and that's what it's all about, is pushing and trying to get fans out there to you guys. And I don't support anybody's music that I don't genuinely like myself. So you can take that to the bank, man. I don't believe in supporting something that you don't like, but that's not the case with you, man. I think you're gonna do great things. It's only been a few short years, and you've been rolling, and you got the right guys behind you, man. You got some high name friends, and definitely not in low places like Garth says. But I think big things are coming, man. There's a wave that's going across country music from that that southeast side of the world that that Luke has kind of opened up with all those and Muscadine, and so I think big things are coming for you guys, and I'm just glad that you got to be on this show, and a few years might be on a way bigger level, brother.
Well, man, we hope so, and man, I really appreciate you having me out here, man, because everything helps, dude. Every fan, every single person that takes interest and tells somebody else, it means more than I can tell you, because that's what this whole thing's about, reaching folks and giving them something to make them feel something,
Definitely, man. We appreciate you, and we appreciate the time. And I also like to take time to appreciate our sponsors and our partners and sponsors. One of them, of course, I mentioned the biggest one, Southern Sound Outfitters. Great organization. Check them out at www.southernsoundoutfitters.com. They have some great apparel, and they also support some great up-and-coming artists, up-and-coming independent artists. Check them out. Also, Southern Music Scene, a great website that features a lot of up-and-comers in the Texas music scene. And we obviously support all music. And also, for a big shout-out to our partners, Cowboys out of Scott, Louisiana. They have Cowboys Western Store, their arena, and also the nightclub where they feature live music every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And, they have some great lineups coming up. In July, they have Sam Riggs from Big Texas Guy. They got Randall King going there. They got Jacob Bryan going there. They have a lot of local guys go there. It's a great venue, so check them out. Also, check out, it's summertime. I mean, Jordan mentioned about fishing and all. You need a good ice chest, and you don't want to play arm and a leg. Go to swampshop.com. Check out Swamp Gear ice chest. They have all kinds, sizes, and colors. They even do custom engravings. Great quality products, locally, owned business out here in Orneville, Louisiana. Check them out at swampshop.com. Jordan, we thank you for being, taking time out of your day to talk with us. Is there any last shout outs you'd like to say?
Well, man, just thanks for everyone that listens and everyone that's told anybody about the music, man. Like I said, I can't do what I do without y'all. So thanks, man, and I appreciate you, Jacob. Thanks for having me on the show, dude.
Anytime, brother. You're welcome back anytime. And we're going to go ahead and call it a day here at the Bayou Country Music Association show. Until next time, you guys have a great day.